When we are dealing with toxic people or difficult people, there's one thing, only one thing that we need to do to make sure that we will not get hurt and everything will go fine. And this one thing is simply being unreactive. That's all you need to do. When you have an issue with someone who is toxic, who is manipulating you, blaming you, guilt-trapping you, or any other forms of unhealthiness, you're having trouble only because you are reacting. Only because you're emotionally and psychologically reacting to this person. And because of that, you're giving this person the bait for more harm. And I saw it in my own life. When I stopped reacting to difficult people, everything went fine and much better. So what I mean by reactivity is this tendency to play in the game of the other. And that's what the toxic person wants from you. They want you to play their game. So as soon as you participate in that game without seeing clearly, you are lost again. You're gonna get harmed. What's very, very, very useful is to cultivate equanimity. That can be done through spiritual practice like meditation, which I highly recommend, where you can really stay with your feelings, stay with your thoughts, and not react to them. So you have a fear arising, you don't react. You have a shame rising, you don't react. You have sadness arising, you don't react. You don't turn it into a problem. You don't turn it into a big deal. Okay? And that cultivation of equanimity will allow you to be so unbothered and reactive with the toxic person. It will allow you to just stay there, and if you notice fear in you, you don't react. The same as in the meditation. And because of that, the person in front of you doesn't have the possibility to hook you, doesn't have the possibility to work on you, because you don't offer reactivity. If someone is trying to manipulate you but you don't care, he cannot manipulate you. He can only manipulate you if you care. He can only manipulate you if you have something to gain from him, or if you're worried of being manipulated, you will fall in a trap. But if you don't care about being manipulated, if you're completely fine with that, then there's nothing this person can do to you. You see? So when you are triggered, you get into reactivity, and because of that, this emotional instability is blocking you from seeing clearly. For example, let me give you an example. Let's say you deal with a narcissist, and the narcissist says something to you, and you react, and you get angry. Then the narcissist will use this anger against you to blame you for your anger that they created. However, if you don't get angry, if you don't react to what the person does, then he cannot blame you anymore. There's nothing to blame about you anymore. You see? So that's super powerful to do. And with this kind of understanding, you can overcome any difficult relationship. You just don't react. You don't put wood on the fire. And from this place of non-reactivity, you can have an action that is much more wise, that is much more clear. You can take a step back and do the right thing in that moment, because when you're triggered, you get deluded. You don't do the right action. You do it based on your own projections, on your own limiting beliefs, assumptions. But when you're not reactive, your action comes from a place of stability. It comes from a place of power. And from that place, you know already intuitively what's the right direction. You know what's the right thing to do. because the mind is calm, the mind is clear. So the more you will train yourself to do that, the more you will be able to see the trigger arising before being triggered. If you really practice mindfulness with discipline, the next time you're triggered, you will see how it's getting formed inside. You will see the emotions emerge. You will see the thinking start. And if you have this clear view, then you're completely free. You are free because you're able to see the problem before it arises. And that's where difficult people trick you, is that they prevent you from seeing the problem before it arises. You're just jumping straight into the game. So what's key here also to become unreactive is to understand that you might be projecting something onto the other person. You might be thinking that you need the other person in your life, especially if it's one of your parents. So it's very important to reparent yourself and learn to fulfill your own needs on your own without them, so that you don't become dependent on them. The reason why you get so reactive is because you're trying to get something from them. You're trying to receive something, whether it's attention, love, care, whatever. And you get reactive because you're so needy towards them. And because you're so needy, you sacrifice yourself for them. So if you learn to identify your own needs, what are your own needs? Do you need connection? Do you need safety? Do you need attention? And what part of you needs this? Is it a 8-year-old part of you, a 15-year-old part of you? If you identify these needs and you learn to reconnect with these parts of you, to fulfill the needs, then you won't project it on other people anymore, because it will be internalized, it will be fulfilled inside on its own. You see? So that's very key here, to become independent from them, to find your own way, your own kind of solidity. And this can only happen if you know what you need and you give that to yourself. So if a part of you, a younger part of you of 8 years old, needs some affection, then visualize this part of you and imagine giving it a hug. And as soon as you do that, this part of you will need less affection from your parents or from whatever person around you, and you become unreactive. You see? So it's a game of understanding the mind. It's not a game of knowing what to do or what to answer or knowing what's the right word to say. That's a never-ending thing. You may have noticed that it never works. But it's rather a game of knowing your own mind, your own triggers, having that awareness, so that when it happens, you already know yourself. So you cannot be taken by surprise. You can only be taken by surprise because you don't know yourself. So get to know yourself for real. Not in an egoistic way, like me, myself. But just know your mind, how your mind works. And by knowing yourself, you will understand the relationships. You will understand the patterns that you see in relationships. For example, if you think that people are not trustworthy, then you will always find people that are not trustworthy. So your own mind is projecting out this reality. So if you understand your own mind, you understand the reality, you understand the relationships. If you understand how your lack of trust unfolds within you, then you also understand how it unfolds within the relationship. And that way you're freeing yourself, because now you see clearly. If you know that you are triggered when someone gets angry, and if you know exactly why you're triggered, maybe because you feel rejected, then the next time someone will do that to you, you will know that it's coming from within you, not from the other person. You will know that you are triggered because you feel rejected, and you will have full control of yourself. You will just know that the way is to work on yourself, not to debate and have a conflict with this person. I hope that makes sense. So take it slowly, but take it deeply. That's my recommendation. And with a lot of awareness that's needed. So I hope this was helpful, and Check the links in the description if you want to work with me. I have many things to offer to you, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.